Mouthful of pizza.
We are live.
Okay, good. So I don't know if anybody sent anything, but I didn't get it working between 3 different computers. So I put together some stuff to show you how I do the collages live, and then we can actually slap one together. I did one, I guess a year and a half ago that was different from my normal blendy style, and it actually sold, and I'm really not quite sure how I did it. So we'll try and do one on the fly, and I mean, if it goes as well as all this stuff is gone, I'll be in tears by the end and drinking scotch, which I don't even like. Oh, it says host disabled print or host disabled participant screen sharing.
I haven't disabled it.
Well, maybe
just a sec.
That's the message I'm getting.
Share. One participant can share at a time. Hold on. Let's see if
That's not what I'm getting.
else.
Taylor, did you send an invite to Pierrette?
Yeah.
Because she was waiting.
It's on the Facebook page.
I know, but I didn't see it on the Facebook page, and then I couldn't get on. So that's why I asked for one in email.
Do we have any cinnamon, Kayla?
I'm still getting that message, Kayla.
Drawer. I'm trying to find another share. I can share my own.
It's the little green thing at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe
And
start the
says,
video, Kyla. Maybe start the
advanced sharing options. Here we go. Try again now.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
All right. So these, I'll just show you a few of the kinds of things that I sort of grab as textures. We've all got one of those. This is the side of the Aviation Museum in Brandon, and I would obviously crop just the shingles. They really were green. I would clean up a few of the little bits, but that would be a good texture background. Oh. This is also from the Aviation Museum, and I just think it would be just perfect. I've used it in one picture, but you know, just perfect to throw in. It's an old neon sign, but just to throw into some collage just because we can. So the first one I'm going to show you is a portrait collage. I have to get rid of you guys so that I can see my stuff at the side.
You can drag it.
It's okay, we're still here.
Oh yeah,
We're with you.
Good. Just going to turn off these other layers. I don't remember how to do that. So that was the original image, which I tweaked and turned into monochrome in Silver Effects Pro 2, which is Nick.
Right.
I'm not sure what this one is. Oh, this is he was this is a friend of mine who did a lot of origami, so I use this for the background. And there's a Buddha in here, which you can't see. Oh, there.
You can see him.
Good. And I'll turn the other layers back on.
Yeah, maybe I'm.
So by just, moving the stuff around and resizing it, that's what I got. So a fairly simple collage. And I did a whole series of those using things that were, germane to the people's lives. I kind of liberated a few of these, which I don't normally do. I normally would not use, any other image, but I did in this case because I didn't have a diagram of the origami, and I did not have a picture of the Buddha. I think this is a diagram of a plane, which again I would use as texture. You'll see, well, look at one now.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Caleb, Pierrette's still waiting for an invite.
Oh.
She doesn't have the link. She's waiting.
It's in the Facebook site.
And she doesn't, because it says
I
you
don't
need to
see
pass-
her. Does she need the link?
Yeah,
Where does she want the link?
I don't know.
I'll find her. I'm going to turn off the video for a sec and I'll find her.
Should we wait for
turn
her?
off my
Well, we'll get going. These are the 3 original images. That's Thallium, which is a very tall plant, but has teeny flowers and teeny seed pods. I also used this, which Pierrette, well, you those that were on the shoot at St. Boniface Museum would recognize this. It was up by the altar, and it's see if I can zoom in. Here we go. It's a weird
Laurie,
yeah,
are you in Bridge or are you working in Photoshop?
I am in Photoshop.
Because Bridge is what's being shared.
What?
the only thing I can see is 7 pictures.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
Bridge window is what's active.
Well, that's weird. I will minimize it. Can you see it now?
No, I can see the bridge only.
Oh,
Make
That's
sure it's
weird.
the big thing on your screen, like the main thing on your computer
yeah, it
screen.
is. Yeah, no, I'm in Photoshop. Well, I will close Bridge,
Close it and yeah.
and then I have to go back in later. Screen sharing is stopped as the shared window is closed. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess it doesn't like you to flip back and forth.
shared window is closed. Was the program open when you started sharing?
Yes.
But what I mean, like, was it full on the screen when you started sharing? Because it might have thought that you just wanted to show that program.
I don't know how that works.
Okay.
We'll try this again.
Make sure you're on your desktop.
Yeah, and when you go to share, it'll show you a whole
There
bunch.
you go.
There you
Now
go.
we see Photoshop.
Okay,
Right.
good. I guess it just doesn't
Sorry,
like
Laurie,
you
I
to...
was just a little confused there.
No, well, no wonder. I'm sitting here looking at Photoshop. I enlarged this, but it was the I'll just fit it to the screen, maybe. There. It was the music. for some hymn book, which Pierrette would be able to tell us about. But the notation is different, and it's in Latin, so I thought it was kind of a cool backdrop. And the other one I used is some weird algae covered rust from somewhere that I just had as a texture. I cleaned out, there was some bird poop and a cigarette butt on it. So I cleaned that out, and you know, I'm never really too concerned about the quality because I know I'm going to be moving it around, and I'll show you now how I did that. So I brought in that hymn book and used I used the move tool to enlarge it, and then you can see the blending, which I can't see on here. It's weird. Oh, I guess I have to be on the layer. Yeah, so I used, I always start with an opacity of 50%, and I've just recently started fooling around with the fill. I don't know if you can see the cursor there.
Yeah.
And I ended up with lighten as my blend mode, but I almost invariably scroll through them till I find one I like. I knew the darker ones wouldn't work because I don't really like dark collages.
Welcome,
So
Pierrette.
I just, pardon?
Hi.
Hi,
She's here.
she's here.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, boy. We left you out in the cold.
Yeah, well, we changed the way we do things and I wasn't really expecting that, so that kind of set me back.
Mm.
I'm going to send it in an email from now on. It seems to be more efficient.
Yeah, I was expecting an email, I guess, and I wasn't
Yeah.
set up with Facebook.
Yeah, I
on my iPad.
I got lazy, I guess. I'll do it next time for sure in both.
Oh, that's cool.
I like the green.
Yeah, that's why I scroll through, because you never really know. Like, I'm on hard light right now, which I didn't use, but I think it's quite effective because those white bits of the algae rust seem to be showing through almost in a marbled fashion. So we'll just leave it on this one. Like I said, I start always at 50%, but in this case would bring it down a bit.
So was
because
this how many images did you put together on this one when you were finished?
This one's just 3, so I've shown you 2 so far.
Is there a way to go back and show us the process, like the step by step?
Yeah, we can. Well, we can actually. I'll close these other ones, and we can. Where's the original? Here's the original. Yeah. Just basically show you what I did. Let me make this bigger.
That would be great.
So what I do in this case, I was creating a new document, and I made them 20 by 16 just for the sake of being able to show you. I thought it might be big enough that you could actually see it. So I use the move tool at the top. I'm not very good at the maneuvering, so I tend to zoom down until I get handles for the move tool, and I still don't have them on this computer. So I'll continue to go smaller until, no, I'm not getting handles. That's weird. Show transformed. There. There. You can see the handles now.
Right.
So that's, I'll try and zoom out a little bit so you can see, because that's just dumb.
Hmm.
Are you on a Mac or a PC?
I'm on a PC.
If you
good.
were to go Control-0, that will zoom it to fit to screen automatically.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to unfit it to screen so that I could get the handles.
If you go to Command-T, then you'll get the handles for
Control
you
T.
to
Okay, I will
adjust.
write that down. Good.
Also, Edit Transform should do the trick.
What did you say? Control to get the handles?
Yeah, sorry, I'm on a
Control-T.
on
That's
a
okay. Command is the
Mac
same
right
as
now.
Control.
Yes, Command or Control-T.
T.
Or if you want to go through the menus, because that's easier to remember, Edit Transform, and then you should be able to
Okay.
warp, manipulate, resize as you like.
Okay. Yeah, I generally use the move tool because quality is not a factor and I can go back and do it again. And so in this case, I'll try that Control T thing. Yep, I got handles, thanks. So that's what it looked like when I imported it, when I dragged it in. So I would just, holding Shift down, which hasn't been working for me, I would just drag it until it covers the 20 by 16 document. And then this is my chance too. If I don't like some of the colors, I just keep moving it around until I find some that I like. So in this case, I'm quite attached to the blue in the bottom, but I could just move it up to get rid of some of that green. So the next, I'm trying to think which. Oh, here we go. Oh, I have to apply the move, don't I?
Hey, Laurie,
Yeah.
since when you started and you were pointing at the original pictures, we were on bridge. Can you just show the original 1 and original 2 just so we know what our starting points are?
Yes.
I just thought of that.
Well, let's see. Originals 2 copy. I'll turn the other ones off. Whoops.
I recognize that.
Yes, I said you would. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know
so
if anybody else
yeah.
took that picture, but I thought it would be a nice background for my flower.
Yeah.
So same thing, only in this case, I really only want the music. I tend when I'm shooting to shoot wide because I never really know what bits and pieces of things I'm going to want. So I know I can crop later. So in this case, I would use the move tool and just, I'm trying to find shift on this keyboard. I would just drag it until I had what I was looking for in terms of the hymnal. In this case, I left the fold in the middle. Figured I could always, get rid of it, but it's, I didn't think it'd be too critical to the piece. And again, oops. So I will move that above the green now. Move the opacity down to 50% to start with. roughly, doesn't really matter, and start romping through the blend modes. I won't use the darker ones because I know I'm not going to end up there. Hard light, I think looks quite lovely, but you know, the go-tos are always overlay. I often have good luck with luminosity, which doesn't actually look too bad here, but I would actually scroll through them and see what looks the best here. And once I've got something that's so this time, because I'm on I'm on opacity of 53, the soft light actually looks pretty good for this image. I've increased the opacity to 69% so we can see the hymn book, but that's going to be a bit much with a flower in the way, so I'll reduce it a bit. On the hymnal page, I did curves, played around with the contrast, and I'm never too adventurous. Let's see if I can get it to come up. Nope, it's right here. In this case, I did use strong contrast to make sure I could see some of that print, but I typically just use increased contrast, which is minimal, or linear contrast. No, linear contrast is the one that's minimal, and I tend to use that the most. Sometimes increased contrast, and very rarely go to medium or to strong. So I'll go back to increased contrast and just leave it there. I did play with vibrance and actually brought it down a bit just because it would help if I turned the eye on, wouldn't it? Keeping this one brighter than I did the first time around. I wasn't going to play with saturation here. In a different kind of picture, I might, but I don't want it too yellow, so I'll do that. And then I played with brightness and contrast and brought the contrast back down for some reason. So that the blend actually looks quite nice. It's blue with sort of yellow or green splotches in the middle, and you can read some of that Latin and the notation. Do you know, Pierrette, what the what that notation is? The musical notation?
He's muted. Oh,
I'm not fluent in Latin.
No, the actual notes themselves, which are little squares.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, that was why I took the picture, because that was, you know,
I don't remember how old that book is, but it's very old.
Yeah, so it's possible that's how they were writing notes, but it could be kind of a modal, what do you call it, sight reading guide, because we did that in grade 3, I think, and it I think looked a bit like that.
I'd have to ask around. I know some people in the community that speak Latin, so you know, I don't know if they would know. I could ask some of the musicians I know if they have a sense of what's going on in there.
Yeah, I wasn't too concerned with the Latin, but I was interested in that notation,
the actual notes.
Which I thought was quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we bring in the flower. So I will go back to the original, if I can find it here.
So you stacked the layer that you wanted the less impact on your global image on the bottom.
I almost always start with the background layer or layers.
Right,
And then I moved to sort of the middle, which was
right,
the music in this case.
right.
And now we're bringing in the
Your
the
top layer.
the
Yeah,
topic
okay.
or the main.
I presume that's easier to work with on, like, if you're going from the back to the front.
I find easier because I play with the blending modes.
Right,
It would be too hard to sort of rescue the main subject if it was being
right.
blended on top of
From the back, yeah.
from the
Okay,
back.
makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah,
I think I would lose it, and I know where I've sort of changed that in progress, where I've had to actually duplicate that subject layer and move it to the top, because otherwise it just gets lost in the blends.
Do you, question for me, Kayla, do you sort of think this through before you start, or do you just kind of say, oh, these three images might be really cool together, I'm just going to go in and play away? Like, what's your sort of process?
This one, if I can get the layer to show. No, that's not it. There. I guess that's one we're going to work with. What was the question, Kayla?
Basically just your process. Like, do you sort of go, oh, those three images will look great together, I want to do something with them, and then you just play, or do you have it all sort of set out? Like, what's your process,
I
basically?
did this one this aft so it would be fresh, and I had no idea going in. I had moved some pictures over from textures and you know, things that could be subjects, and I just picked three and went with them. Sometimes there'll be other layers that I end up abandoning, and sometimes I'll bring something else in, because normally I would have more than 3 layers, and I would start to play with filters as well. I'm really trying to bring this up. Let's see if I can. No, I keep losing the thallium here, so we'll go back to this one. Oh, that's the one that's showing.
Are you in an active command because you got your transform window? Do you need to accept a command?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Never mind.
Yeah. Nope. So in this case, I flip the thallium. It tends to sort of not necessarily grow straight up, so I actually flipped it vertically. It looked. Let's see. Make sure I'm on the right layer. Edit. Transform. That's what it looked like, but I didn't think that was right. So, I mean, it could be. So I flipped it this way because I thought it would add a little more scope. At this stage, I can play with it and you know, get as much of it in as I want to, or move it around. I had debated mirroring it, like moving it here and flipping it so that there were kind of two, and then rolling them over so that there would be more. But I thought this was really fine for what I was doing. I'm trying to turn on some of these layers that I played with, and it's not happening. Okay. So I've really lost the music notes in this.
Yeah, they've almost disappeared, eh?
They have.
Yeah.
And
Too dark. It needs to be less opacity, maybe, or something. Yeah.
The music notes are original too, right? Those layers are turned off.
Hit
Hit escape.
enter or escape.
Hit escape.
oh yeah, that's why. Yeah, you're right. That the move thing is blocking it. You're right. Yeah. So where did?
So original 2 is your text. Up.
Oh, is that my text?
Yep. You zoomed in.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
So I will now again move the thallium above it. Yeah.
There you go.
So that's what it's supposed to look like. So in this case, I'm on overlay, but I know I wasn't.
That's pretty, very pretty.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's got
Very
some,
compelling, all those images together.
yeah, and that was 3. Like often I will add, I'm a big filter geek, so I often will add some grain when I'm doing collages, or I'll add the underpainting filter, which is like something you would do in painting, where you would put down a color first, so it sort of gives you a texture of like watercolor paper that also can be, I think, fairly beguiling.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 3 images that are on top of each other.
Yep.
Right? Do you ever do
Yep.
some where it's like a little bit over here, a little bit over there, or like more like that kind of a collage? Or?
Yeah, that's the next one that I'm going to show you.
Good.
The other
That's
thing
harder,
that,
I think, right?
yeah, and it may not work out at all, but we'll give it a try. So the last thing that I always do is sort of manually vignetting, darkening the corners and burning in or darkening the edges and burning in the corners, which I've done in this case. And you can see them there, the exposure thing. I should show you.
Are you doing that with a brush, or what are you doing that with?
I am, and I do it stupidly, so I should show you how I do it. Normally
I would cheat and I'd go in Lightroom and do it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, everybody has their own way, and I mean, you know, there are presets and things, but I like to do it myself because then I have the most control. So if you look over on the left-hand side at the little white and black windows, it's almost always with white on the top, but you've got that little crookedy arrow that you can switch so that black is your foreground color. And then I hit Alt backspace. I'll make a new exposure layer to show you. I'll just take that one off, and I'll make a new exposure layer, which is top row second from the right, that little thing there. And
Can I interject with a quick key?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to, first of all, if your brush has color on it, if you just hit D, that will put your brush to default. And if you want to quickly switch from black to white, hit X, and that will swap between the 2 colors.
Okay, yeah, I just use that little thing. Because I'm kind of a Photoshop binger, I don't always remember the shortcuts. So
of course,
So they're good to know.
They are good to know, and like I said, I wrote down that one, and I you know, I do use some, but there's other ones that I just don't remember.
Yeah, those 2 I always have on a sticky note.
Yeah, all right. Use them all the time for sure.
A little cheat sheet would be good, right?
You can actually print off stuff, and you know, I know the Kelby book has shortcuts in the back.
I printed off one, and it's just so long I never can find what I need.
Yeah. So I find, you know, if I use them, I learn them, but for some things I still
Sticky note with the ones that are really good.
Yeah.
So brush is D?
Yeah, so in the exposure adjustment layer, I generally go around 70, minus 70 only. Okay, since I'm on, where's my exposure? Oh, it's exposure 2. So if I hit Alt backspace, the little thing turns black, and then I go to brush. I guess that's brush. No, that's not brush.
No,
There's brush. Found it. This laptop has kind of a dinky screen. So yeah, I usually try and get to about 800, which isn't that easy to get to for the brush size. And then I just darken around the edges. And I never play around with opacity or anything.
Just wrote the quick keys down for you guys in the chat if you want to have a look
good.
at that.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot to turn the little black and white things back to white as foreground. And that now you can see it's darkening around the edges.
Thanks, KJ. That's for Mac too?
Yes.
Good. Yeah. So that's how it ended up. Like I said, I just pretty much randomly picked 3 different images. I always do shoot textures when I'm out because you never know when you're going to need them. And I don't like to use the same ones all the time. And when I'm bringing in an image, normally I would be tweaking it, getting rid of the, little, like I said, the cigarette butt in that original picture, the background. And like in this case, when I've moved it, I've left some of the page showing, which isn't the end of the world because it shows it's a book. But, would sort of check for color and contrast and all those things that I normally do in RAW along the way. So yeah, that's what I came up with this afternoon.
Very pretty.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go back to Bridge to get my other picture because it's not in Open Recent here anywhere. Or I guess maybe I'll try Open, see if it'll.
KJ, what's the color picker quick tool? Like if you want to go to the color picker and then the brush, pick a color.
Yeah. Sorry, just let me change here. I'm also in Photoshop. So while you're in the brush tool, if you hold down Option or Alt, that'll pull up your color picker. So if you want to quickly select a color to paint with, hold down Alt, click, and that will become your foreground color.
While you're in the brush?
Yes.
Okay. For color. Oh yeah, this is exactly what I was asking about, all the different pieces.
Yes, and like I said, I have no idea how this one's going to turn out, but none of them are tweaked or anything. You can see they're wildly varying. I want, first of all, to show you the background. So I'm going to nuke all these. I know there's a shortcut for closing all the eyes, but I don't know what it is. What the heck was this? I can't even remember what this was, but I thought it was neat. And
bedspread.
No, it was, oh, what was it?
Great, great.
No, it wasn't a great.
She's into leopard bed spirits.
No. Oh, and the next part of the background is the mirror on the ceiling, smartass.
Oh yeah, Laurie. The things you learn
And
about
the red
people.
check.
Oh, there's Laurie.
Yeah.
This image is from the Herpa. I'm just going to see if I can. No. Oh, what did you say? Control T to get the handles?
Yes.
Well, oh, I guess I have to be in move. No, I'm in move.
Your layer is not on the one that you have selected.
Was you? Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, we'll try that again. Yay, handles. Let's see if I can bring it in. No, it didn't. It didn't come in. So somewhere in the harp, I think near the gift shop, there's this mirror thing, and I've never used it before. And I thought I tried it with the bottom and the top bevels, and it didn't really add anything to the picture. So I stretched it. Hang on. Now Zoom's in the way. Come on. So I stretched it and blended it with that original background thing, which I really wish I could remember what it was.
That's really neat.
Yeah, and yeah, so together I thought they made a pretty good background for an urban kind of grunge landscape that I was, going to throw together. Doesn't look like I even played with blending modes. Yeah, I did. I ended up using overlay at 52%. You get more color at 100, and anyway, I just thought, I always start at 50 and then adjust from there. What I would do in this one, but I was upstairs and running out of memory, is I would use either liquify on this mirror layer, which I just shot past. I would use liquify or puppet warp which might actually, work on this computer. I'm not sure. Where is liquify, KJ?
It's not in filters.
Is it?
Filter and then
Filters.
Sorry, didn't realize my mic was
Oh, you
muted.
have
My
to accept
apologies.
the change.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Down,
filter,
there.
and then if you
There
go
it is.
down,
Okay,
also
so-
Shift Command X if you want a quick
Okay,
key.
good, thanks.
Shift Command X for what?
It's a quick key to get liquify. I don't use it that often, but that's what it is.
What, you don't make yourself thinner all the time?
No, but I do make brides thinner.
Faces.
Yeah.
I used to always try to use it on, yeah. That's a hard one.
Use
Mm.
liquify to make people thinner?
Oh yeah. Oh, I should show
Yeah.
you guys. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, you should show it.
Liquify?
Okay, make
Should.
that an
Really?
amendment or a little addendum to your little lesson next week.
Wow.
I love that. Yeah,
I'll write that.
Yeah. Liquify.
a 10-minute liquify lesson.
I think that's a dangerous thing.
It's
It really
extremely
is.
dangerous, but
Yeah,
it's
I
really
know. It's like
fantastic.
it could go very badly.
Yeah, but you'll use it, I'm sure. It's just a good thing. Oh, look at that. That's neat.
Oh,
I see.
cool.
I didn't have a loaded mesh in here, so I'm just basically screwing around. Yeah, so that's what I would do in Liquify. Changing it so that it wasn't just rigid. That actually, I think, is
Neat.
going to look a lot better in the collage. So I brought in layers, but I haven't done a thing with them. This is a building down on waterfront. I don't even know what it's been doing lately.
Yeah.
It's
Some
probably a
Is that the-
condo by now.
What
is
is
that
it?
the one that was supposed to be the
Probably
beer
a
place?
condo by now.
Probably,
There's
yeah.
construction in front of it now, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on there. I haven't been down there since all the theaters and symphonies stopped. So
Nice.
in this case, it's way too big. So I'm going to, I'll hold shift, but it doesn't really matter at this stage, but I'll bring it down. Whoops, that didn't work. I'm on the wrong layer, obviously.
Oh. Don't accept it, that one.
Oh,
Or escape.
You sized the mirror copy.
I know, the stupid Zoom gets in the way.
Mhm.
The stupid
What, the
Zoom.
Zoom box? You can drag it over to
Other
to
side.
any other part of your screen.
No, it's rolling down from the top. So every time I go to the top, it rolls down.
But you can drag that box and move it so that it's not there.
Okay. We'll try that. I don't even know how it got to the top. So see if we can shrink this now. Am I on the right layer? No. So I had to cut out the sky, and I didn't do a really good job of it. And I also cut out a high rise that was behind it. But I'm just going to just play around with it and see what happens. I won't do too many adjustments to it now because I'm not sure where we're going with this. So I'll hit OK, that it's going to stay where it is for the moment. Next layer, whoops, I'm not on. I've lost most of the picture transporting it in, but it doesn't really matter. So I'll make this one narrower. And I'm switching to crop. Oh, yeah, apply the transformation. Yeah. I'm switching to crop because I don't want that bright light there. And I'm going to bring it down so I don't have the blue sky, which is weird. I'll leave the King's Head sign in though, because I think that's cute. Preview, yes. I managed to crop my entire picture, which was not what I was intending.
Ever use the backward eraser tool? Anybody?
No.
I was playing with that and I was trying to figure out, I was just doing it by trial and error and I wondered how it was effective, but I've used it a little bit and I don't really know what I'm doing. That's why I'm asking.
No, I tend to avoid that tool. Sorry, wait, the background eraser tool or the?
Yes,
No,
background.
no, mostly because I know what select and mask can do.
Yeah,
The background eraser tool is kind of like a quick fix if you need to do something roughly.
yeah, that's why I need your lesson on
Yeah.
masking, yeah.
Yeah, already have a little thing written out for that,
Cool.
so I'm excited for it.
Good.
Good. Well, every time I crop, bad things happen. So I'm just going to leave it uncropped so we don't have to figure it out as I'm struggling here. Where is this going to go? We'll leave it there. The next one, I'll hit OK. The next one is from, whoops, I'm on the wrong layer as usual, is from Ma's Garage. Inside, it was, I don't know what's there now. Just going to see if I can crop this without destroying it. Nope.
No.
I'm wondering when I'm videotaping this, does anybody know if it's super long, how do you share it?
I don't know.
Maybe a link or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, put it on a YouTube channel or
I'll
something.
put it on a
Share
YouTube
the link.
channel. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good idea. I can do that.
As long as Laurie's okay with it.
Okay with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll just be a private one. I'll just do it private with a link, I guess. I know how to do that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, if you make it unlisted and then just share
Yeah.
the link,
Yeah.
then everyone who has the link can see it. No one live on Facebook can.
Right. Yeah, we do that in the theater. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to move that building. No, first I'll hit OK. I'm going to move that building
in front.
on top of this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to move this one on top as well.
And the thought process on that is because you want that to be a more dominant.
Yeah, and I'll fool around with the color and stuff once I get them to where I think they should go. This last one is, whoops, on the wrong layer again. This last one is a staircase, and because it's this is that the food place, Patterson Institute or whatever, where they do the cooking. So in this case, I'm going to okay, see if I can crop without destroying anything. I haven't been able to so far.
Well, you could select maybe and delete pixels.
Yeah.
What's the shortcut key to
Whoops.
go from one selection to another? There must be one.
One selection or a layer?
One layer to another.
Can't say I know, but there should be one. I usually just click. I find that quick enough
Click
for
the
me.
eye or click the picture of the.
Yeah. If you have it on auto select, actually on your move tool, so notice on the top left hand corner, she has the move tool. If you do auto select, then you can auto select the layers as you're clicking. You have to be careful with this because if you have a levels layer on top, it's going to select the levels layer, not the images. Right now you should be perfectly fine, but as a note.
So
Okay,
wherever
yeah,
your
I will.
mouse is clicking on, it'll go to. Is that what that does?
If auto select is selected, and then there's
Good to
a
know.
little drop down menu next to it that will say group layer.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another option. So if you have it set to layer, then it'll individually select your layers.
Okay. Well, I took it off
That's what I
auto
usually
select. Yeah.
recommend.
Okay. Good. So again, I'm going to move that building on top. So that the staircase is behind. Sort of twiddle the staircase so that it shows. And I would just keep adding things. At this point now, I would have to go in and into the individual ones and fix the color because they're kind of gaudy. So I will go back to this Moz Garage. Oh, I have still. I'll go back to the Moz Garage and
I like that.
and add an adjustment layer. I haven't quite figured out which one yet. I think in this case, something that I very seldom do is I will sort of desaturate it a bit. This is CS6 and I don't particularly like the way it does saturation, but in this case I will do that. And while I'm on that layer, I will go to filters and see if I can find it in here. It's not in there. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So I brought the color down. I'm going to go to this thing, which was a ramp and just didn't translate very well, which should be this one.
If you named
Yep.
them, if you
Pardon?
named them, if you named them. Like
Yes, I
down
normally
there,
do.
it's
You
easier,
can see
right?
I started out naming them and then I ran out of time.
Yeah.
So in this
Uh,
case, I will look for noise. That's not quite what I'm looking for. Hang on. That's not right. Sorry. Let's try find edges. No, I didn't like that. Don't want to use the same one just for fun. Here, I think that's what I'm looking for. No, I know there's sort of a grunge thing in here, but I can't find it. Oh, I know why. Oh well, doesn't matter. That's not very dramatic. And it's lost its spin. But anyway, I would just sort of keep filling it up like that, depending on what I think it's supposed to be a picture of. But it's kind of a fun way to do urban landscapes. And if you've got a good background, and I think this one I would, I'll find the mirror layer.
You have to check.
Yeah, I have to. Gee, that's never happened before. In this case, I'm going to shut these down for a minute just because I want to, where am I, mirror copy? Didn't work. There. Now I'll put the other ones back on. This one. You know, then you can go back and individually tweak each one and do selections around the edges. Like I said, I lost the ramp, which was the whole point of this King's Head thing at the back, you know, behind the building. And you know, I would have a bit more thought about what my message was before I started. But, you know, I wouldn't necessarily exclude any of these pictures, but I would select them a little more carefully and, you know, just keep going back and tweaking them and filling the space up somehow. I might put I've got some pictures of sunsets straight down Notre Dame. You get just the best sunsets. So I might throw that right in the middle there. Again, probably not a really vivid sunset, but sort of a nighttime cast to it, just to sort of make sure we know which end of the picture is up. You can also play around with the edges with the FX button at the very bottom on the right there. You can do drop shadows. I have no idea what layer I'm on. I'm going to pick that Moz Garage one and go to FX. And I'm not very good at these, so I just kind of keep hitting them until I get what I like. But you can do drop shadows and stuff, and it can create a really neat effect in a collage. But I just keep hitting the effects until it does what I want. I really have no rhyme or reason into how I do it. So that's basically how I do them.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
I just realized I was on mute. What is the difference? What would you guys say is the difference between a collage and a composite? And is it what's the plural of composite? If I'm what's the word? I'm doing a composite or I'm compositing. What's the word?
Compositing.
Compositing. Thank you. So, like, let me just ask this question related to that. Let me share the screen for a minute. Can I do that? This will stop.
I'll stop sharing.
Okay, just for 1 sec. Is this the thing that I did with the twirling? Because I added this. This is a composite, right? I guess yes. I'm doing it and I didn't even know it. So that's basically by putting a bunch of images together, and I did twirling in here and all of that. That's basically it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing it and I didn't even know.
I mean, it's the definition's a little bit hard. Like what I'm working on right now, it could be considered a composite or a collage. What Laurie's doing with pasting the different ones together, that's almost a storytelling collage. Mm-hmm. So it has more of a progression to it, whereas with a composite, right, you're trying to make things either look like they belong, which is what you did there. And with a collage, I just feel like it's a little bit more copy paste, like you try to keep some of the original things in there to tell more of
like
a story.
Yeah.
Whereas
a composite is more like creating one image as opposed to having a bunch of images that are on
collage. Yeah.
They're on their own. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
What are you working on right now, KJ?
I'm trying to figure out how to. There we go. Share screen.
Stop inspiring me.
We did some of this with
Alex. I'm
not
inspired, and
back,
then you're going
right?
to show me something, and I'm going to go, all inspired again.
Darn.
Didn't we do something like this with Alex a while ago? Was that
Sort of, yes.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
with the barns and everything, that I would consider a composite.
Yeah.
Here, just let me save it as a JPEG for you because it's gonna make me quit Zoom in order to do it. This is still a work in progress, mind you.
Somebody take a picture of Nancy taking a picture. Go.
I moved outside and there's a nice gray and white and blue sky, and I just thought,
Oh,
hey,
you
maybe I
have
can
a-
use that in a composite or in a collage.
Yeah.
So you just said you got inspired.
Here it is.
I actually turned my head because I noticed that it looks like the sun is actually reflecting on the cars in the parking lot. So I think the actual sun is clear of clouds right now, at least at my place.
I don't know.
But I can't see
Yeah,
it because it's on the other side.
There are some
got
lovely
clouds.
colors in the sky for sure.
Oh, am I
I'm
sharing
gonna
now?
stop. I'm gonna stop. Oh,
We see
well,
your
wait till you
screen.
share.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
There
that's
we go.
pretty.
Yeah. So, and this has like my different pieces to it that I've sort of added on.
That looks like it should be a stamp.
Right? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's neat.
So what's the different pictures there? The flower, it was one.
Oh, there's like a million. So I've got Cupid and some smoke here. I've got the butterflies and the flower.
Yeah.
And these are all separate pieces. And then the background has a paper aspect, another watercolor overlay.
What was that purple wallpaper? I love that. That's pretty.
This one actually just affected the highlights up here. That's all. And I'll just do that at normal for you so you can see exactly what that looks like. It's just a paint splatter, basically. Cool. And we'll go back to there. Okay. And then this was originally a black stamp edge. I inverted it to white. You can kind of see that there. And then I also flipped it because it was originally the other way. And then this was a little flourish. I just kind of wanted something extra in the corner.
Nice. I love it.
Another piece of smoke. And then vibrance. And then these ones kind of go together. And that's where I started. Cool. That's flower and ice.
Neat.
Did you do a whole Photoshop program at Red River? Is that where you got your most
This is
experience?
not, I did not learn how to do Photoshop at Red River. I sort of came with those skills already. I learned the basics at high school and I built upon that myself with YouTube and playing.
Yeah.
And then probably refined it all with working at Photo Central.
Yes. Mostly when it came to the restorations though. So some of my technique has changed because of that. I mean, I'm using it daily, right? It changes the way that you think about things. And you can really get in depth with them. But yeah.
That's the thing, working with it on a regular basis. That's
Yes.
Most
at
of
least
us
once a
have
week
not doing that.
Yeah.
When you mentioned inverting, KJ, I remembered what my original image was, that thing that looked like a spider's web. I had taken a picture of a shadow of a palm tree. We put palm trees around our pool because we're sarcastic. And I inverted it and then I blurred it. So it looked black, rather than, shadow on cement. And it was so unrecognizable. I forgot what I did. So thanks for reminding me.
So I have one more question because that's just me. So I loved last time we did that. We figured out the twirl thing and we all went nuts going and did twirls for 2 weeks, right? Can you recommend either KJ or Laurie a YouTube video that we could follow and try to do a composite and maybe create something and bring it back? Is there anything? Like
I would
step by step?
Just Google it.
Yeah.
I would think, if you looked on YouTube, if you search for photo collage, you'd find something you liked.
Okay, and just follow along. That's how I find learning it the easiest. Step by step.
I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos because it's kind of a black hole. You click on one and then
I
the rest of
know.
the day is gone because you've clicked
know.
on everything else. So
Like I went and did a whole bunch of twirl ones with a bunch of people and just got so like, ugh, some of them were terrible, right? That's why when you gave us yours, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was so clear and concise, KJ. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, it was great.
I could do a short little one for you, but honestly, like the biggest thing with doing these is selections. If you're gonna do something like I did.
Yeah.
In order to take those pieces from their original background. So we can kind of build up on that with what I'm gonna teach if you wanna kind of have that be an overlaying thing.
Maybe we need
Yeah.
next week's class first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, let's do that and then we'll
that'll
go
give
from
you a
there.
good
That's
base.
a good idea.
And
Yeah.
then ultimately just playing with your different blend modes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's next Thursday, is that right?
I'm going to stop the record.